The mornings started normal. I mean, as normal as any Tuesday in high school. I forgot my locker combination again. Same combination I had used for 4 months. The numbers were 182406. I had written them on my hand 3 times. My hands sweat the ink off every time. Mr. Henderson made us write it in our planners. I lost my planner. So there I was, standing in front of locker 447, pulling on the handle like a monkey trying to open a coconut. The metal door rattled but did not open. I pulled harder. A teacher walked by and stared at me. I smiled at her. She did not smile back. Maybe she is having a bad day. Then I heard a scream. It came from the cafeteria. That was 2 hallways over. I could hear trays crashing on the floor, chairs scraping, then a sound like wet meat being torn apart. I did not know what that sound was at the time. I thought maybe the lunch ladies were fighting again. Last week, 2 of them got into an argument about the pudding cups. One threw a ladle. I walked toward the cafeteria, thinking I could get some entertainment. A freshman ran past me. His face was white. Not pale like scared, white like paper. Blood ran down his arm from a bite mark on his shoulder. The skin was missing in a perfect circle shape. I could see red muscle underneath. Man, this fight is serious, I said to myself. As he kept running, he did not look back. I turned the corner to the cafeteria and stopped. The double doors were both open. Inside, I saw maybe 200 students. Most of them were on their seats, looking shocked. That part was not that weird. The weird part was the people on the floor. About 20 of them. They were not eating. They were twitching. Their mouths opened and closed like fish on a dock. Blood came out of their mouths. More blood came from holes in their arms and necks and faces. It looked like a scene from some horror movie. A girl stood up from a lunch table. Her name was Jessica Miller. She was on the soccer team. She had a chunk of her cheek missing. The skin hung down like a flap. Her right eye was gone, just a dark red hole where it used to be. She walks toward me. Her left foot dragged on the floor. The bone in her ankle was broken and poking through her skin. The bone was white. I did not know bones looked that white. The awkwardness of the situation got to me. "Hey, Jessica," I said. "You look messed up. You need ice?" But that won't be enough, I muttered to myself. She grabbed my arm. Her fingers were cold. Her mouth opened wide. Her teeth were red. She leaned toward my face. I always knew she had a thing for me, but this is too quick for a kiss, man. At least we should start from some introduction first. To avoid this harassment, I pushed her. She fell backward and hit her head on a table. A wet cracking sound came from her skull. She did not get up. Oops, that do not look good. I looked at my arm where she grabbed me. There were 5 purple fingerprints on my skin. They hurt. She really wanted to smooch me up bad. Behind me, someone screamed. I turned around. Principal Morrison was running down the hall with a fire extinguisher in his hands. 3 students followed him. They were not running right. Their legs moved like they had strings attached to their knees. One of them was Kevin Tran from my chemistry class. Kevin wore glasses. One lens was cracked. The other lens was covered in blood. This made me remember the time when Principal Morrison punished Kevin in front of the whole school. I felt very bad for him at that time. Maybe he is having his revenge moment right now. I supported Kevin, as I also don't like Principal Morrison myself.
"Go, Kevin, go," I said loudly and proudly. "Give this man what he deserves." After I said that, suddenly Kevin lunged at the principal and climbed on his stomach. I smirked at the sight, thinking how my words really motivated my guy. Kevin bit the principal's neck. The principal dropped the fire extinguisher. It rolled to my feet. My smirk got even wider. Kevin is one naughty guy. He's going to punish the principal in a different manner. Suddenly, the principal pulled out a knife. This is getting serious, I thought to myself. I have to do something to save Kevin. So I picked up the fire extinguisher. It was heavy. I pressed the trigger. White foam sprayed everywhere. It got in my eyes. It burned. I dropped the extinguisher and rubbed my eyes. When I opened them again, Principal Morrison was on the ground. Kevin and the other 2 were eating him. They ate his arm first, then his face. They made sounds like dogs eating from a bowl. They are looking very hungry, but it is too much. They should calm down a little bit, I said quickly. But they were looking very busy in their thing, so I just left them alone and walked away. I started walking down the main hallway, still figuring out what actually just happened. There were lockers on both sides. Some were open, backpacks and books spilled onto the floor. I stepped on a calculator. It cracked under my shoe. I stepped on someone's phone. The screen shattered. I did not care about the phone. Behind me, I heard footsteps, many footsteps. I looked back. A group of maybe 30 students followed me. They all walked the same way, slow but steady, arms out in front, mouths open. Some of them were my friends, I think. It was hard to tell with all the blood. "Hey!" I yelled. "Stop following me!" They did not stop. I was getting creeped out by these weirdos, so I turned left at the science wing. Mr. Patterson's classroom door was open. I ran inside and slammed the door behind me. The door had a lock. I turned it. The lock clicked. Mr. Patterson stood at his desk. He was grading papers. He looked at me with a confused face. "Kevin is eating the principal," I said. Mr. Patterson put his red pen down. "What?" "The principal. Kevin bit him on the neck, then they ate his arm." Mr. Patterson walked to the window. He looked outside. In the courtyard, a group of students surrounded a teacher. The teacher was Mrs. Albright from the English department. She was on the ground. The students were kneeling over her. They were making the same wet tearing sounds I heard in the cafeteria. "Oh my God," Mr. Patterson said. The door shook behind me. Someone was hitting it. No, multiple someones. The wood creaked. The lock held. "What is going on?" Mr. Patterson said. "Some fight started in cafeteria, probably over some food, and now all of the school has gone mad of hunger, and now they're eating each other, I think," I said. Mr. Patterson gave me a confused look. Then he looked at door. The door shook again. A crack appeared in the wood near the handle. Through the crack, I saw fingers. The fingers were red and torn. The fingernails were missing on some of them. The fingers pushed through the crack and grabbed at the air. "We need a way out of here, or they're going to eat us too," Mr. Patterson said.
He went to the back of the room. There was a small window near the ceiling. It led to the hallway on the other side. Mr. Patterson pulled a chair over and stood on it. He pushed the window open. It was just big enough for a person to fit through. "Go," he said. I climbed onto the chair. I pulled myself up. My stomach scraped on the window frame. I fell through and landed on the floor of the hallway. The floor was hard. My elbow hit first. Pain shot up my arm. Mr. Patterson climbed through after me. He landed better than I did. He was a science teacher. The door to Mr. Patterson's classroom broke. I heard wood splintering. Then I heard footsteps inside the room. Then nothing. I was glad we were out of there. We ran. The library was at the end of the hall. The door was heavy wood with a metal bar across it. Mr. Patterson pushed the bar. The door opened. We went inside. The library was dark. The lights were off. Bookshelves stood in rows like trees in a forest. I could smell paper and dust. A girl was crying behind the checkout desk. I recognized her. Sarah something. She worked in the library during second period. "Help me," she said. Her voice was small. Mr. Patterson locked the library door. He pulled a bookshelf in front of it. The shelf was heavy. It took both of us to move it. We pushed it against the door. Then we pushed another shelf and another. "We need to block all the entrances," Mr. Patterson said. "There's a back door," Sarah said. She pointed to the other side of the library. A glass door led to the courtyard. I walked to the glass door. Through the glass, I saw the courtyard. Mrs. Albright was still on the ground, but she was moving now. Her body jerked and twitched. Then she stood up. Her face was gone. There was no face left, just red meat and white bone. Her jaw hung open at a weird angle. Mrs. Albright turned and looked at me through the glass. Her eyes were still there. They were normal eyes, blue eyes, but they did not blink. She walked towards us. Her shoes were gone. Her feet left bloody prints on the concrete. I grabbed a chair and threw it at her. The glass shattered. The sound was loud, really loud. It echoed through the library. "What are you doing?" Mr. Patterson screamed. I forgot there was glass between us," I said, kind of embarrassed. Mrs. Albright stepped through the broken door. Glass crunched under her feet. She reached for me with both hands. Her fingers were missing skin. I could see the bones inside. Mr. Patterson grabbed my arm and pulled me away. We ran between the bookshelves. Sarah followed us. She was still crying. We reached the front of the library. The main door was shaking.
The bookshelves were holding, but not for long. I could hear moaning from the other side. Low moans, many voices making the same sound. "The window," Mr. Patterson said. There was a window above the checkout desk. It was small, too small for Mr. Patterson, too small for me. Sarah could fit. She was tiny. "Sarah," Mr. Patterson said, "climb out of the window and get help. Go to the roof. The roof door is at the end of the west hallway. It's always unlocked." Sarah climbed onto the desk. She pushed the window open. She was halfway through when I remembered something. "Wait," I said, "my backpack is in my locker." Mr. Patterson stared at me. His face was red. "What?" "My backpack. It has my lunch in it. I have a pudding cup." "We are in a life and death situation, and you are worried about a pudding cup?" Mr. Patterson said angrily. A smirk crossed my face. With a high, dominating tone, I told him the analysis I was cooking. These guys are acting strange because they eat some shitty food in the cafeteria, so if we give them something normal to eat, they can get back to normal. Mr. Patterson ignored me and focused on Sarah. "Get out of the window, Sarah," Mr. Patterson said. "We're going to the roof together." "No," Sarah said. "I'll go. I'll find help. I'll come back." She climbed through the window and disappeared. I clenched my teeth. This guy just decreased my aura. Mr. Patterson grabbed my arm. His fingers dug into my skin. "Listen to me. Do not open any doors. Do not break any windows. Do not do anything without asking me first. Do you understand?" "Yeah. Can I use the bathroom? I really have to pee."
Mr. Patterson did not let me use the bathroom. We stayed in the library for 2 hours, maybe 3. I do not know. I do not wear a watch. The bookshelves held the main door closed. Nothing came through the broken glass door in the back. I sat on the floor and ate a bag of chips I found under a table. The chips were stale. I ate them anyway. Mr. Patterson paced back and forth. He looked at his phone every 30 seconds. He tried to call 911. The call did not go through. He tried to call his wife. The call did not go through. He threw his phone against the wall. The phone broke into 3 pieces. "Great," I said. "Now we can't call anyone." Mr. Patterson sat down and put his head in his hands. He did not say anything for a long time. I smirked. I got my aura back. Then the screaming started again. Not from the hallway, from outside. Sarah's screaming. I ran to the window, the one Sarah climbed through. I looked out. The window faced the west hallway. Sarah was on the ground below the window. She was crawling. Her legs were not moving right. One of her shoes was missing. Blood pooled under her stomach. 3 figures stood over her. They were students. I did not recognize them. Their clothes were torn. One of them wore a band t-shirt. The band was Metallica. I like Metallica. The students bent down and grabbed Sarah's arms. They pulled her up. She screamed again. The sound went through my ears and into my brain and stayed there. I hear that sound when I try to sleep now. They bit her, all 3 of them at once. They bit her neck and her arms and her face. She stopped screaming after a few seconds. Then her body went limp. Then her body started twitching, the same twitching I saw in the cafeteria. "We have to go to the roof," Mr. Patterson said. "But Sarah." "Sarah is gone. We have to go now." We left the library through the front. Mr. Patterson moved the bookshelves. He did it quietly, one shelf at a time. I tried to help, but he pushed my hands away. When the door was clear, he opened it a crack and looked out. The hallway was empty. We walked to the west hallway, fast but quiet. Our shoes made small sounds on the floor. Every sound felt too loud. I held my breath. Mr. Patterson held a stapler from the library desk. He held it like a weapon. I do not know what he planned to do with a stapler. The roof door was at the end of the west hallway. It was a metal door with a push bar. Mr. Patterson pushed the bar. The door opened. Cold air hit my face. The sky was gray. It looked like rain. We stepped onto the roof. The roof was flat and covered in gray gravel. Air conditioning units sat in a row. Steam rose from them. The roof had a low wall around the edge, maybe 3 feet high. I walked to the wall and looked down. The parking lot was full of cars. Most of them had their doors open. Some had blood on the windows. Bodies lay on the asphalt. Some were still. Some were moving.
The ones that were moving dragged themselves across the ground. They left trails of blood behind them. "Now what?" I said. Mr. Patterson looked at the sky. He looked at the door. He looked at me. His face had an expression I had never seen before. It took me a minute to understand what it was. Then I understood. He was scared. Really scared. More scared than I had ever seen anyone. "We wait," he said. "Someone will come." Hours passed. The sun went down. The air got cold. I shivered. Mr. Patterson sat against an air conditioning unit. He did not move. He did not talk. I got bored. I walked around the roof. I kicked gravel. I counted the air conditioning units. There were 8. I counted them again. Still 8. I tried to see the stars, but the clouds covered them. Then I saw something. On the other side of the roof, a door. A small metal door I had not noticed before. It was near the edge of the roof. A ladder went down from the door. The ladder led to the ground. I walked to the door. The handle turned. The door was not locked. "Hey," I said, "I found a way down." Mr. Patterson stood up. "Don't open that." "Why not? We can get to my car. My car is in the parking lot." "Your car?" "Yeah, my mom's car. She lets me drive it on Tuesdays. The keys are in my backpack. My backpack is in my locker." Mr. Patterson walked toward me. His hands were out. "Do not open that door." "I'm hungry," I said, "and I have to pee really bad now." "Then pee off the edge of the roof. Do not open that door." I opened the door. The ladder went down about 15 feet to the ground. The ground was dark. I could not see what was there. I put my foot on the first rung. The metal was cold. I put my other foot on the second rung. Something grabbed my ankle. I looked down. A hand. A gray hand with missing fingers. The fingers that were left had long nails. The nails were dirty. The hand pulled. I grabbed the doorframe. My fingers slipped. The hand pulled harder. I fell backward. My back hit the ladder. The ladder dug into my spine. The hand pulled me down. I slid down the ladder. The metal rungs hit my ribs. My shirt tore. My skin tore. I hit the ground. The thing that grabbed me was a man. He used to be a janitor. He wore a blue uniform with a name tag. The name tag said Hank. Hank's face was mostly gone. His nose was missing. His lips were missing. His teeth were all there. His teeth were the whitest thing I had ever seen. Hank opened his mouth. He leaned toward my face. I kicked him. My foot hit his chest. His ribs broke. I felt them break under my shoe. He fell backward. I stood up. My ankle hurt. I looked at my ankle. The skin was torn. Blood ran down into my shoe. Hank stood up. He stood up fast. His chest was caved in. He did not care. I ran. I ran across the parking lot. My ankle screamed. I did not care. I ran to my car, my mom's car, a blue Honda Civic. The door was locked. The keys were in my backpack. My backpack was in my locker. I turned around. Bringing the backpack would have actually been a good idea, I thought to myself. Hank was 10 feet away. Behind him, more shapes moved in the dark. Dozens of them. They came from everywhere, from the school doors, from the windows, from under the cars. They walked toward me, slow but steady, arms out, mouths open. I looked up at the roof. Mr. Patterson stood at the edge. He looked down at me. His face was hard to see in the dark, but I could see his mouth. He was mogging. He was mogging on my death. He was doing pure aura farming right now. He was always the OG aura farmer, I realized. The moaning of hunger was loud now, so loud, it came from every direction. The shapes got closer, 5 feet, 3 feet, 1 foot. Mr. Patterson turned and walked away from the edge. He disappeared into the dark of the roof. Again, pure aura farming moment. Then the shapes reached me. Hands grabbed my arms, my legs, my hair, my shirt, my face. The last thing I saw was Hank's teeth, the whitest teeth I had ever seen. I knew it was my end, so I also decided to do aura farming one last time, so I smirked and mogged. I mogged the horde, mogged one last time, so that at least I die a mogger, die a student of Mr. Patterson, the OG mogger.